Yeah, in Cure. Oh, I just realized something. If you could mix the mechanics and aggressive nature of Dream, combine that with the sense of timing of Bunny,
Mhm.
and then to wrap it all off, just the builds of Cure and Cure's ability to adapt. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to Frankenstein this.
Piece the players together.
Yeah, bit by bit. We'll have index finger from one of them. The
Oh, that,
thumb will be from another.
that's a Terran player, bit by bit.
He was. But that is going to be enough of that. We are now going to be spawning in onto Ice and Chrome, the greatest elaborate marketing campaign from Dare Ice Coffee in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player. Coming down from South Korea, he is going to be representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. It is Solar.
And spawning in at the top right-hand corner, as well as the center of the map, which could just be scattered because... Oh, no! You didn't go for it!
He's moving away! Solar, he thought this would be too obvious. He checked sides. Oh,
we have the South Korean Terran player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is... Cure.
He catches a glimpse of it now.
Oh, he did. Okay. He saw it, he knows.
Yeah, this is honestly a really good position. It's definitely a lot harder to try to take out the SCV while they're building when you use a drone. And yeah, I feel like Solar, he's really got to put his 110% into defense right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the build that he went for, it is almost just it does almost just get hard countered by this.
Exactly. So the drones were pulled and their goal was to ward away the SCVs. They need to try and make sure that the SCVs don't make a bunker, because once the bunker goes up, it's going to be so difficult to hold. He even pulls more drones here, trying to stop this from happening.
And it kind of achieved that, but this is a lot of drones that are way away from mining.
Exactly.
And just unable to mine.
Yeah, there's a lot of drones being committed here, and they're not really achieving much. And that's the great thing about the Sim City here. The positioning of these Raxes makes it a little bit harder to get those surrounds.
Yeah, I mean, Cure does have to be a little bit careful with the rally, so he needs to make sure that his Marines are all in the same position. The bunker does go down just in range of the hatchery.
Oh, but there's a lot of Lings.
A lot of Lings coming out. Yeah, Cure, he's kiting, is really going to be put to the test, and this is going pretty well so far right now for Cure. Solar hasn't gotten any spine crawlers out yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Solar, he has a queen now, and again, that's a lot of Lings, so maybe he's able to focus down the... he does focus down the SCV.
Nicely done there. And Cure, he's a little bit flustered right now. He pulled the other SCV away, trying to finish that other bunker, but again, being targeted away, being chased away. Cure's got to be very careful with how he approaches this. One queen is very low, but the SCV gets sniped once more.
Yep.
This bunker will not be going up, and that's just about the end of Cure's offense here.
Yeah, immediately this was shut down. Now we'll have to see what Cure's follow-up is going to be. We do see him continuing to make more Marines, and you can do this to like contain your opponent to 2 bases. Obviously, Solar, he would love to take a 3rd. Behind this, we do see Cure. He's expanding. You know, he's taking his natural. He's got his factory up and running. So we will be seeing Cure attempt to transition into a longer game.
Yeah, and honestly, not too far behind. During this opening, did make sure that Solar was forced to build Lings and not workers. So, yeah. I would say that Solar at the moment has the advantage economy-wise, just because he has that second base up, but Cure, not too bad himself.
Yeah, I'm honestly really surprised. Solar lost 1 drone throughout all of that.
Dang.
That was some pretty good drone defense, not gonna lie. That's impressive. He did lose 11 Lings, but again, Lings are expendable. Like, that's what you want to be losing. And because of that, Solar, he's behind in the worker count, but not by too much. So yeah, we could just transition into something a little bit more standard. We'll see if Solar, he decides to take a 3rd base, or if he decides to try and pull the trigger.
Yeah, well, he's trying to go for a bit of a counter harass right now, but yeah, Solar just playing this out as a standard macro game. He is aware that he has an advantage, so he's just trying to play that up. Get even more of an advantage, and wherever possible, just keep his opponent's economy down.
Yeah, exactly. And here we go. The Hellions are meeting up as
they shave off the lane count just like nothing, allowing the Marines to just really focus on the Queens. Really good use of the choke point there on the main ramp. And Cure, he's deflected these lings, but what about his attack force out on the map? Can it get much more done from here?
Yeah, honestly, that was really good positioning. Like, this could have really easily snowballed and Solar could have killed an entire mineral line, but really nicely done defensively by Cure. And now we see him continuing to saturate his natural base. Meanwhile, this is a pretty good position for Cure as well. He may be able to deny this.
I think he will, not with the Queens and the links though.
Oh, it's getting pretty low.
It is starting to get pretty low. Looks like a micro right now, Light. All right, will Cure decide to go for it? He's in a pretty tough position right now because honestly, this is majority of his army. If he gives this up, Solar has the opportunity to go for another attack. So yeah, he did try to go straight for that hatchery, but he delayed it. He delayed his decision by just a little bit, and it does survive.
Yeah, and as you said, like, that was a pretty hefty loss. He lost almost all his Marines and the Hellions as well. And he just traded against Lings. Like, he wanted a little bit more than that, maybe even a Queen or two, but the transfuses were on point by Solar. He was able to save his third base. Behind this Cure, he very quickly set up his wall. He knows that he's a little bit vulnerable right now to a counterattack. Makes his third CC a part of that wall. Is that a hole in the wall?
That is a hole in the wall, yeah. Or maybe not. Wait for the. No, that's a hole.
Yeah, it's a hole. That's a hole. That's a hole. Okay, we'll see if that comes into play. Hopefully not. As we do have the Banshee coming in, and there's no Spore, there's no detection. The Lair's not even done.
The Lair's not even done. The Spores aren't even done, and this Banshee is the absolute MVP of this game. Taking out so much.
Exactly. Now, finally, some economic damage has been done. Even a second Banshee coming in as well, looking to threaten the gas mining drones as well. Could even, pick away at the Queens, and 13 drones. That's pretty solid. That's a decent amount of drone kills.
Yeah, that's enough for Solar to now be even with Cure. This could have been a lot worse for a Blue Terran player.
Oh yeah.
He was aware of that.
Exactly. Like, Solar is still ahead in workers, but it would have been so much more worse, right? If Solar was ahead by 13, right? If he had those 13 extra workers. So really well done by Cure. He needed to deal some kind of economic damage to get back into this game, and he did so. And here we go. He's pushing out across the map with his first tank. And
it's a really good timing, all things considered.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
got his stim. His 1-1 is a little ways off, but yeah, he definitely has a bit of a better army right now. Centrifugal hooks not even started.
That's the thing, right? Against low Lings, like, you can definitely make something happen. To be fair, there's a lot of Queens here for Solar. They are quite beefy. So we'll see what Cure can get done, because Solar's being quite greedy. You pointed it out. He's not getting Baneling speed because he's going right into Spire.
Yeah, this is gonna be such a positional battle right now. Cure, he's got the better army at the moment, but it does have to be in the right position. In fact, there's actually a couple about half of that army still at home trying to defend against any potential run-bys. And yeah, there's actually suddenly this Cure, or this push from Cure, just became that much more weaker.
Yeah. Exactly, like, enough time was bought that now there's a decent amount of Ling Bane. Mutas are on the way. We have Baneling speed on the way as well, and Cure, I think that he needs to, realize that the time is up and he needs to get out of here before he loses his army.
Or reinforce it before these Mutas can hit pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably would be better to back off and try to reposition somewhere where he can actually threaten. Where he can actually threaten Solar, up north by the third base.
Exactly, right? And here we go. The Mutas are scouted. He does spot them, and at the same time, it looks like, the Banshees are trying to dive in and deal some kind of damage.
They're not going to get too much done, those Banshees are, but, forces Solar to focus elsewhere for a little while. There we go. Cure, going to be backing off, going to be regrouping with the rest of his army, and yeah, this is that window that Cure has to get out of there. You have to be very careful, Cure. He is starting to move in. He has to siege up, though.
Ooh, that he does, and you were calling it. It's either you go back home or you reinforce, and he has opted to reinforce with his main army, but I don't know about this. Baneling speed is done.
Yeah, it is done. And meanwhile, Solar moving across the map of his Lings and his Mutalisk. It is basically only Banes right now that is
yeah.
that is the defense of Solar, but a lot of DPS is going down there across the map. GG is called though. Solar, he knew he could not contest against that. And Cure, what do we say, Light? We haven't seen him, pull off anything big in a while, but he is still a player you have to respect. And he takes game number 1 here of this best of 5 semifinals.
Yeah, really surprising decision by Solar, because as you said, like all his Lings and his Mutas, he sent them across the map to deal damage there, and with 4 tanks really nicely spread and with only Banelings at home, like yeah, Solar he just couldn't hold.
No, he could not. No, he could not. That was honestly a bit of a weirder game to start things off with, but yeah, I'm hoping that that's a sign for things to come. And
yeah.
I'm gonna put you on a spot a little bit, Light, because I need to pee.
Go for it. Yeah, that was a bit of a stranger start to the series because, we did start with that proxy, and then with that transition into a later game. But yeah, I mean, Solar not really getting too much done with, his quote-unquote greed, because as we said, like he went for that faster Spire, and with those Mutas, he didn't get anything done. He didn't pick off a medevac, he didn't pick off a tank, he didn't pick off reinforcements. They were just kind of flying around, not really doing much, and like they're ideally like a harassing unit or a group of units that you use to pick off like units here and there, and they just weren't really utilized. So because of that, Cure, he was able to just reinforce and just brute force his way on through. Yeah, really well done by Cure. And we'll see how things go here in game number 2, as this will be on Eternal Empire. Alright, here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing KaiZ Gaming KZG. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Terran player, the South Korean Terran player, taking game number 1. This game not going for a proxy. Solar, though, he is checking for it. He is checking with his overlords just in case, just to be safe. We have, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
Did you do both?
Yes.
That was quick. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's quick, but
look, I'm not a Yaku, okay? I'm not a steel leader, right? I don't delve into it. I'm like, I mean, he's. Oh, I don't even know what you'd say.
He is going to be coming down from that side of the map. He is going to be from whatever country that they are coming from. Yeah, let's find a moniker that we can throw in, and let's see if we can segue anything from game number 1 to just trying to make a match. Give it a little bit more flavor, description coming out. Going to be representing this team. Player.
So something that you did miss is that Solar was very, very adept at his scouting. He sent his first overlord over to the right hand side. He sent a drone over to the north as well, and we do see, based on the pathing, like he went all over the place on his half of the map just to make sure there was no proxy.
He knows who he's up against, especially after that game number 1. Come on.
Yeah, he was just very paranoid. He was almost like scarred, like a little bit of PTSD there for Solar. But yeah, Cure, just straight up, regular opening.
And now he's gonna play with Solar's head now. He's gonna say, I'm gonna proxy. I'll do it. You flinched.
Oh god, yeah. We'll see if this is something that Solar does throughout the series or just here in game 2, like right after that proxy. Because it may come into play later, right? Like if Cure proxies in game 3 and Solar actually scouts it early on, like could work. Yeah.
It's one of those weird things in terms of series planning that you wouldn't think works, but funnily enough, it actually does. Is if you proxy every other game, it can really throw your opponent off balance. So this works better. Obviously, this works better for shorter best of 5s and what have you, because if it's a longer series, then your opponent can get used to that rhythm. But yeah, just being able to throw your opponent off their balance like that.
Yeah.
Play.
Definitely can. I mean, we saw it here, right? It does mean that Solar's mining was a little bit more inefficient early on because of his drone. It does mean that his scouting is a little bit delayed as well when it comes to the main base. He hasn't seen anything in the main, anything in the natural. We'll see if he decides to dive on in. He is getting Overlord speed, so he is looking to eventually go in, but at the moment, like, there's patrolling Marines. You know, Cure, he's hiding the fact that he's going for this 1-1-1 into that third CC. I don't know if it was a 1-1 into a CC or 1-1-1 into a CC?
I think the technical term is 3CC before starport.
Okay, sure.
And I think he did get the third CC a bit quicker this time. It's about to finish up.
Yeah,
but yeah. Didn't really look at that. Do apologize.
Oh, and I do believe do we not have game heart?
We do not.
Oh, F's in the chat.
Yeah, so you don't see the icons. F.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was like, where's the icons right now? Unfortunately, no game heart. It's okay.
Where the icons? It was all an illusion. You thought there were icons.
It's in the gas.
It's in the chrome.
It's in the chrome. Oh god. And so Solar, he did poke in with his Overlord. He saw the structures, he saw the third CC already done, so he's aware of the opening. He's aware of what Cure has. We'll see if he's in position. Yeah, he's got a spore on the way for the lib. Yeah, he's
right in the correct position, I would say. Now, what's interesting from Cure is that he actually kept his Hellions back until now.
Yeah, looking to maybe, you know, distract with the Hellions and then going with the Liberator, or the other way around. Regardless, they are hitting around the same time. But the Lib does get spotted.
Yeah, the Lib does get spotted. The Spore Crawler can't quite burrow. It can actually burrow. I did lie there. Yeah, Solar being very on top of his defense right now. Fantastic multitasking. I almost said Michael Jackson.
What?
I don't know. My mouth was like, yes, multitasking. You know what sounds a bit like that? Michael Jackson.
Okay, so meanwhile, yeah, the Hellions, they don't really manage to get much. They dove in a little bit to that third base mineral line, but they were pushed away. So instead, he's getting a little bit of creep instead. We actually have an armory on the way and 2 factories.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of barracks out, and stimulus research or combat shield. So this is just not going to be mech. This is just Cure. Going to really be leaning into either his tank production or his mine production. Potentially going into Thor's later on, if he sees a fire.
And I'm surprised he's doing this now. I assumed that he was going to try and push with his Marines with these Hellbats, but he immediately turns his Hellions into Hellbats, looking to deal some damage. And to be fair, there's no banelings.
Mind games. Because look at how Solar respects this so much of the Lings.
I mean, you have to, right? Like, Lings don't trade well.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so in the end, the Hellbats didn't really do too much. They did deny a bunch of mining, but that's it. Maybe they were hoping that there weren't as many queens. Maybe he was hoping that Solar would commit with the Lings, but Solar dealt with that pretty well.
Yeah, I think Cure got a little bit greedy with his Hellbats there, you know, moving them off of the choke points to try to get some damage here and there. But yeah, I guess with Hellbats, you really do want to just park them in a good choke point and let your opponent go into you.
Yeah. Again, that's why I thought he was going to wait for his Marines and like push together, but nah, mate. He just went for it. Wanted to free up that supply, I guess. Meanwhile, we got a drop here from Solar.
Yep, there be those Lings that worked out pretty well for him. Oh, no, I actually think at DRG worked out really well for DRG, and now Solar's taking a page off of him.
He is. Meanwhile, this drop isn't finding too much damage, but the Lings, they do get into the main base. What is there here? Nothing too much. So actually, they're gonna deal some decent damage, forcing a lot of lost mining time, able to pick off a couple of SCVs here and there.
Yeah, I mean, forced mining time, but not much aside from that. Really good drilling claws, and that's a lot of Lings being taken out. And again, Lings are expendable units, but when it's one mine takes out that many Lings, that's an inefficient trade.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the Cures, he's going back in with the mine.
Go back in, and the drones, they clumped up. And how many kills does that mine have? Don't kill it yet. Don't
12.
kill it yet. 12. 12 drones went down.
Wow.
Cure once again really on top of just about everything, really on top of just dictating the pace of this game.
Yeah, and just like that, just quickly checking the units lost. So 4 SCVs went down to those lings, and 23 drones went down to that harass.
SMH, my headlight.
Oh god.
Aware of the mutas that are coming out. You know, he was. It's a good thing he was making mines initially, as yeah, now he's got a decent number of them. His 1-1 has finished up a while ago. He's working on his 2-2 now. This is going to be a really good timing for Cure to execute. But Solar, I feel like he's got the tools that he needs to hold this.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's got some decent Ling Bane. His crease spread is okay. At the same time, it looks like there is another drop. Oh my god!
Here's last tab. 39 drones in total left gone down this game. Was that 16 Lings or 16 drones that drop?
And Solar's getting pulled apart. Oh, another amazing Widowmine shot. Like, the Widowmine shots this game have been insane.
Absolutely. You have some, you know, you always have those couple of players who can never really seem to get much done with their minds, just because your opponents are fantastic about at either baiting them out or just making them ineffective. But somehow, Cure, I think just because of the sheer amount of pressure he's putting on Solar, Solar cannot focus on too many things at once. Inevitably, he's going to lose something to the mines.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and we've already seen that he has been, right? Like, they've been 50 drones have gone down this game. To be fair, at the cost of 15 Widowmines, like, a lot of Widowmines were used to make that happen. But it was
Widowmines are one-shot units. They're expendable.
Yeah, and it was totally worth it. Like, the economy of Solar has been hit to the point where obviously he has 80 workers now, but he's been forced to remake workers constantly throughout this entire game.
Yeah, but at this point, Solar, he'd want to be building up that bank, right? He'd want to be maxed out and start working on just getting more and more money and more income. But Cure has not allowed that.
Oh, that he has not. And here we go. Curious pushing on in. There is some Ling Bane here, but there are plenty of mines behind this.
A lot of Marines actually really overstemmed, but the Banelings have been taken care of. There's a Thor right now, really threatening the mutas, and you know, best case scenario can maybe tank a couple of Baneling shots.
Yaku, there's 6 Banelings.
Once again.
Now there's only 2 in production. That's it.
And Cure is on match point. Oh, that was that was just such. If you ever want an example of a player picking apart another player, and Solar, honestly, I usually rate him as a really good multitasker. It's honestly really impressive how much Cure has been able to make Solar crack under that pressure.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really impressive. Like, the Widowmines were able to just do so much. Despite the initial Hellbats not really doing anything, like, the Widowmine drop really caught Solar off guard. And I feel like part of that is because of the limited scouting. Like, Solar wasn't really able to head into that main base afterwards and really figure out what his opponent was doing. And yeah, he just kind of fell apart.
Absolutely, and I gotta hope that Solar, you know, he's not taking those 2 losses too hard. As now his opponent's on the A smash. Is gonna be a bit of a tough ask to ask him to reverse sweep here, but that's what he's gonna have to do. We'll see if he's able to get it done. We are now on Everdream LE Ideli Edla, where in the top right hand corner of the map, starting all the way to the top right hand corner of the map, it is going to be a red Zerg player coming out from the land of South Korea. He is having a lot of pressure thrown on his shoulders right now. Can he let go of it? You know, man, can he take that and just throw it on back up and make that reverse sweep? It all starts here. Going to be representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Cure.
And once again, Solar.
Yeah.
He knows who he's up against. He knows he's on the ace mat. He is scouting everywhere he can scout right now. It would be so funny if Cure had a proxy in that one that one sort of well, I mean, yeah, that would be one, but I was thinking more of where the Overlord is at now. A little 2 day left of that. The other
Mm.
Overlord.
Oh, the other. Okay.
I like how I'm able to. I like how I'm able to dictate this. Yeah, yeah, a little bit in that direction. It would be still funny.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there.
I mean, Solar, as we saw in the previous game, he's very paranoid about proxies. He's making sure that he doesn't get proxied again. And even though his defense was okay previously, like he just really wants to shut it down if it does happen. And you were mentioning it, right? Solar, he's gonna have to pull a DRG. He's gonna have to reverse sweep. Like we've seen it already today. We've seen it against Stats. Can he do it against Cure?
It's all reverse sweep. Oh, you mean reverse sweeps are in general something hard to do or something you don't see, but we already seen one, so why not a second? Right. Okay. That's what you meant. Okay, I got it now. Like that's what you meant. That's what you meant.
I love how we all just heard your thought process, piecing everything together. Yes. God damn it.
When do you get to hear that? I mean, usually I don't process thoughts. So.
That's true. It's a rare thing. But I mean, we saw it here today, and here we go, Cure. He's trying to deal some damage here with the first Reaper. Ooh, gets a lane, you know. Oh.
Gets a lane. There's a lot. It's definitely very risky going into the mineral line like that. There's always a possibility of getting surrounded, but yeah, Cure does manage to keep his Reaper alive. Will have a little bit of map, activity on the map here, you know, preventing these Lings of Solar from just going for a straight counterattack. But more importantly, he has the potential to go in later on for his second scout. Arguably the more important scout, because that will tell Cure what tech Solar is going to go for.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see if Solar even decides to do anything too crazy, as, you know, he does have a third base on the way, you know, nothing too, like, only one gas just droning up. Meanwhile, Cure, he is doing what he did in the previous game, going for that triple CC before Starport, if you will. So yeah, see, I'm coining your term. I still like 1-1 into CC, but yeah, look, we'll get into the math behind it later. We'll get Steel on it.
Into CC. No, wait, hold on. CC would be C squared, so it's like 1 is to 1. No, 1. Yeah. So so it would be 1 bracket, 1 bracket into C squared. Plus 1 bracket.
Wouldn't it be C cubed?
C cubed?
Wait, would it be C cubed minus 1?
What? We just
no. Look, we'll figure it out. But we do have Banshees on the way for Cure, and it looks like it will get scouted. It does get scouted. Solar, he did see the building, he saw the add-on, he saw it researching as well, so he is aware of the Banshees.
He's coming out, and this is actually kind of okay. No, actually, he has 6 aliens. All right. I didn't notice the ones that are off on the map. But yeah, Cure, once again, just going into what's normal. Should see a tech lab. Actually going to be a reactor, it seems. Yep, reactor. So he's going to be going into Biomine. Not playing mech so far this series, which I do appreciate. Honestly, I've had enough of mech. Like
you're like, mate, after casting Piglet, like, we're done.
I'm done. I don't want to see this composition for another year.
You know that's not gonna happen.
A lot of players are gonna play mech.
Yeah.
You know, we're probably gonna have to cast Piglet again, aren't we?
Yeah, probably for winter. It's gonna happen. Or maybe he'll play in GPO. It's hard to say. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But we do see Cure. He was just waiting with his first Banshee for the second one to join him. Cloak is done as well, so they're gonna be diving in it together to get some damage done. And we'll see. I mean, there's
getting one shot.
Yeah.
There's already detection here for Solar.
Yeah, there's already detection. There's 4 queens in the main base, so he's perfectly fine. Instead, Cure does opt to go for clearing some creep, which is also what the Banshees can do, you know, get a little bit of map control. And Solar, he's really fond of this style. He's going for, you know, he has Lair, he's going for his 1-1 upgrades, he's going for Spire play, once again, getting into that Ling, Bane, and Muta.
Yeah, well, can you really blame him? Like, this Ling, Bane, Muta is usually what people think of when they think of ZvT, isn't it? And now that it's pretty popular in the meta, now that it's a pretty viable and strong build, you can't fault him for that.
Yo, let me introduce you to the Latin American scene where we see Roach Hydra into lurkers in ZvT against Bayer. Just saying.
I love the idea that it's basically like 2011.
Yeah.
But things changed. You know, 9 years of StarCraft. They added a lurker.
Yeah, well, Lurker Viper. To be fair, that's something that DRG didn't make today and probably won't make today. The goddamn Vipers, but I mean,
what you're saying is we need a show match between DRG and some Latin American Zerg player.
Eggs. Yes.
There we go.
There we go. We need to make it happen. But yeah, so far these Banshees are able to get a couple of worker kills, 3 so far, but they will all go down. But they also got a little bit of information. They were able to spot the Spire, get that scouting information, so Cure is aware and he should be getting into that bio mine at some point. He's pushing out with his tanks instead.
Yeah, he does see an opportunity. He knows that the build that Solar went for means that he won't have as much defenses up as is normal. So he wants to take absolute advantage of that with his Hellions, with his tanks, and with this massive amount of bio. Here comes the flank, but a quick siege and a quick split does deter this. You know, Cure wants to be putting pressure on that, but it is in a position where, or that army is in a position where they are just not, there's just no pressure to be had or to be placed.
Yeah, the armory is still a ways away from being done, so no Hellbats quite yet. Instead, we do have the tanks shelling away at this army. Pretty good, pretty decent position from Cure. No surround or anything coming out from Solar. He's just going for it.
Splits at the moment. Tanks are in a good position, pressure above the army as well as the base, but there's just too much army here for Solar. Completely deflects this push from Cure, and he is going to have to think twice.
Oh, you say that.
He only has Solar only has a couple of Banelings here.
Exactly, literally 4 Banelings for Solar.
Oh my god! Right now, the starter stepping is real, and the Banelings have been taken out. This is a window of opportunity right now for Cure to establish a foothold, but yeah, he's not really taking it. He knows that he's only got 2 siege tanks, so yeah, he's gonna have to make a lot of the absolute most out of them. And
to be fair, compared to the first, compared to the first push, Solar, he doesn't have anywhere near as much as he did before. He's gonna try and push in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he has some more Banelings right now, but his buffer just isn't there, and the connections are not there. The tank is still up. Now, the Mutalisks are actually getting a ton of damage done, and they will clear that out. That 3rd base is still alive, or I guess that's 4th.
Yeah, it was just able to stay alive. If that went down, that would have been so huge for Cure. Cure, he himself, he's on 3-base economy. He's, you know, making more of his, or he's continuing to ramp up. But again, Solar, he held and he was able to hold on to that base, and that was huge. Now, Solar, he's in such a good position.
He absolutely is. He's so confident in his position right now that he's even getting that infestation pit. Gonna be going up into that hive tech fairly soon, but yeah, honestly, I'm looking at what Cure's building, and it's interesting that he's committing to the tanks, and
yeah,
I can kind of get where he's coming from, right? Everdream, it has a lot of ledges. There's a lot of positions for, you know, your tanks, for you to place your tanks to pressure bases or, you know, potentially be an anchor point if the Banelings come in, but when there are this many mutas out, you do need a better form of anti-air than Marines.
Exactly. Ooh, nicely done. A couple of mutas do get shaved off, but I completely agree. I'm very surprised that Cure, he's staying on this tank tech. We saw how good Widowmines did for him in the previous game, right? Like, they were so good, especially against Ling Bane Muta. Committing to tanks, like, I understand it like in the mid game, but eventually I feel like you want to transition out of this.
Yeah. I feel like if you're gonna go tanks like this, you get another factory with a tech lab, and yeah, get a bunch of Thors as well to complement this.
Yeah,
not too much, but maybe like 2 or 3.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see how this goes. You know, Cure, he is pushing out across the map once again. He does have 3 tanks with this army, which is quite a bit. But again, there's just so much Ling Bane here. We'll see. I mean, to be fair, the base, it's still at pretty low health. He could snipe it.
He absolutely could. Just sim a couple of Marines and touch it, Cure. Just touch it, Cure. You know you want to touch it, just touch it. Alright, but Solar is going to be preventing that. And yeah, really good of Cure to keep his Marines back, have some form of anti-air here. Solar did stop committing to the Mutalisks a while ago, or at least stopped building. That's a massive amount of Marines just in a corner, taken out, and the tanks unable to do anything as well. Once again, Solar absolutely crushing this position of Cure. And Cure, I started to get really worrisome for him. You know, that 4th base, that was free damage for the longest time, and still not being taken out. He is starting to transition, getting those drilling claws, but yeah, I'm starting to get real worried. Like, Hive has finished up a while ago.
Exactly. Hive is done. Solar is maxed out right now. He's gotten 5 hatcheries. And like the transition is starting, but it feels a little bit too late. And drilling claws on the way. 3-3, like he's on point with his bio upgrades, but oh my god, like he's doing something now. He's finally going for drops. Like he needs to try and pull Solar apart. Like go for these drops, try and deal some economic damage, buy some time. Oh,
please. God. Kill that base, but yeah, this is why drops are a little bit of a risk to do when there are mutas out, and this other drop gonna be deflected by the Ling Bane. This is, you really cannot stress the importance of creep spread, can you?
Exactly, right? Like creep spread, it does so much. It helps you out your army, gives you vision as well. And as you said, like that drop to the north was completely caught out by those mutalisks, and now they're diving on in, looking to try and catch that tank unawares. There's plenty of marines here to protect it, and Cure, he just needs to buy time right now. Like slowly and surely he's climbing up in the supply. You know, he's got Thors on the way. He should have Widow Mines. I thought I saw him throw down another factory. There it is. We have another factory as well. We'll see if he gets everything out in time though.
Yeah, Widow Mines is starting to come out right now, like as well as a couple of Thors, but I do feel that it is too little too late. That Ultralisk Den finished up a while ago. Chitinous Plating is on its way. Cure, he's still, okay, he's starting to get Marauders now, but for the most part, he's still very much on a mass marine composition with a couple of tanks and medevacs to back him up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we were getting to the point where like he's starting to diversify or, you know, tech up his army a little bit. I'm curious, but again, we'll see. Solar, he's shocking around trying to find some damage with these mutalisks. Ooh, able to catch out a couple of Widow Mines for free.
Yeah, very nicely done here, and once again, I'm starting to worry a little bit right now. Like for Cure, the style he's playing needs him to be active on the map, but I don't know, I feel like his best bet against the composition that Cure is throwing out is to just defend up back at home, get a big siege line, and try to go for drops instead. Massive connections with the Banelings there.
Yeah, and I mean, Cure, he does push us back, but at the same time, there's a massive run by going on here. So many Banelings. Oh.
But there's a bit of bio that chases us away.
Yeah, he doesn't commit to the...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Cure loses a couple of supply depots, but the base is still standing strong, and he's actually not too badly supply capped. One more depot, or actually no, with this CC, yeah, there we go, back in 200.
Yeah, now we're getting to the stage where, I mean, the Hive has been done for a while. We have Ultralisk on the way. I believe Kindness Plating is also done as well. And now we need Cure to now transition into like his Ultra army. Like ideally, we want to see a couple more Ghost Liberators or more Marauders. To be fair, he is making 4 Marauders at a time, but...
Yeah, and he actually does have to clear up supply like that.
Yeah.
Just throw away a couple of Marines here and there. Because they're not going to be too useful right now. They are the main source of anti-air right now for Cure, but yeah, they're not going to do much against these Banelings or these Ultralisks, are they?
Not at all. And Solar, he just completely takes out that position. All the tanks and the Banelings are running in.
Ooh, there's some really good kiting though. The Widowmine really shooting his shot there, and that's such an efficient trade for Cure, but I feel like it might not matter in the end.
Yeah, I mean, he's pushing on forward. The Ultras, they should eventually go down, especially with the reinforcing Marauders, but Cure lost so much supply, and the Planetary, it's strong!
It's so low, but the repairs are so good, Light, and with enough missile turrets there, Cure, he's still alive, he's still continuing to produce units, but he is nowhere near the economic position that Solar is in. He is struggling to make a bank, and he just has to continue to produce these units.
Yeah, like Cure, he traded relatively well. It's just he didn't have the money to completely remax, right? To reinforce his army. And now Solar, once again, he's maxed out on that Ling Bane Muta Ultra. To be fair, he doesn't have too many Ultras, but I mean, he may not need them. He's just gonna crash on in and try and finish off that Planetary.
Yeah, that is gonna be the start, the beginning of the end there. That Planetary, the freshest base of Cure, has gone down, and still have a decent number of both the workers and the army. Well, you do see a little bit of a flank, Cure trying to go for a bit of multi-prong. Massive mine hit. But I feel like Cure's gonna need about 12 more of those.
Yeah, honestly, like Kyoki held, but at the cost of 16 SCVs and a base, right? The planetary did fall, and we were talking about it earlier. Like Kyo, like his economy, like he needs like more bases.
Exactly. We are getting to the point of the game where, you know, ideally as a Terran player, you want to be focusing. You want mules, right, as your form of mineral income, but you do need to. You need a bit of support before you get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
need to actually have an economy before you sack it.
Yeah, and we do see Cure, he is transitioning. We have 4 ghosts on the way, which is again ideal for those snipes against the ultras. To be fair, there aren't too many ultras. I don't know if Solar's, you know, committing a little bit too much to this Ling Bane. It'll be fine though if he's able to take out a base.
And that is definitely going to be a question. These Banelings are starting to really crash in. Once again, fantastic kiting and fantastic positioning there by Cure. And he's slowly getting the better end of this trade,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter in the end if there's just way too much. The ghosts are here, and they do manage to utilize their snipes. Some of them do. And Cure, he's chasing Solar away once again.
Yeah, honestly, like defensively, Cure has been...
Each time.
Yeah, he's been trading better, honestly. Like, Solar, he keeps running Banelings into Marauders. Like, it just keeps happening. So Cure, he's defending, but at the same time, like, Solar, like, I don't think he cares. Like, he's not even making that many more Ultras. He's just continuing to make more and more Banes, and he's just going to continue to crash in until eventually the wall of Cure is going to just break.
That's like worrisome for me. Like, we have seen this happen in the past. Certain players, they do tunnel vision like this. They just keep sending units, suiciding units into the Terran position, and from there, they trade so inefficiently that eventually somehow the Terran is in a good position once again. I mean, Cure, he's not even maxed out, and he's got about the equal army supply, but I think there are about too many Banelings this time.
Ooh, yeah, they get into the mineral line, everything goes down, and...
There we go, GG. I got worried there for a sec, but Solar, he did not. He knew that he could afford to send those units in. He absolutely knew what he was doing. GG is called, and Solar fights back.
He puts a point on the board, and this is really what he needed, right? He needs to get some kind of momentum going for him, and we'll see if he can, you know, pull a DRG and go for that reverse sweep. And this is the start, right? This is the beginning.
This is the beginning. Actually, something big.
Yeah, this is always something that I have a lot of respect for when it comes to players who they're in a really rough position when they're down, they're on match point, you know, they don't have any wins, they're down 2-0 in a best of 5 and they're able to bring it back. It really goes to show like their mental fortitude to be able to like remain calm and just push on through like despite the disadvantage.
Yeah, every game is a game to them, you know. It's not a next game isn't a chance of being knocked out, it's a chance of turning the series around.
Yeah, definitely.
But we are going to go into map number 4 pretty soon. While that's going on, I am going to nibble on the cereal bar.
Fair enough. And yeah, we are just waiting for the lobby to be made. I believe the vetoes were posted earlier, if I quickly look up. Oh, it looks like we should be getting into, there it is, Pillars of Gold.
Ooh. And yeah, we won't be seeing Submarine yet tonight, as it has been vetoed here, but we have one more best of 5 after this, so who knows?
Yeah. That we do. As a reminder, we do have DRG waiting for the winner in the finals. We were talking about it earlier. DRG, I'm sure he's hoping for Cure to make it through. He was
probably like leaning back in his chair when he saw Cure 2-0. But now Solar is fighting back. He's like, no. Now they're on Pillars of Gold, which is his favorite map. So he's like, Cure, please. And so that's how I imagine it's going down. But that's going to be enough of that. We are now on Pillars of Gold. LE holding up the Golden Wall. LE protecting the Eternal Empire. LE of which the LE submarines are hidden. In the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner map, the Red Zerg player going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG, fighting back in the series and hoping to pull a DRG. Who DRG is hoping not to face this guy. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Cure.
Alright, what do we have in store this time, Light?
Ooh, yeah, we do have again the Overlords going.
But yeah, the Overlords are pretty vigilant.
Yeah, they are pretty vigilant, looking for any kind of proxies out here coming out from Cure, making sure Solar doesn't get caught off guard. As you said, as you pointed out, this time there is no drone out on the map, as opposed to the previous games. So maybe you know, a little bit at ease, more at ease compared to before.
Yeah, I guess if Cure didn't cheese for 2 games in a row, then Solar he's feeling a bit more at ease, as he said. Just gonna be relying a bit more on the Overlords.
Mm-hmm.
I also think there isn't really a good proxy location that can't be spotted by the Overlords here.
Yeah, there are a couple of proxy locations, but as you said, nothing too crazy. We have seen a couple of proxies off to the top left-hand corner before, but again, that's a little bit more rare to see. And yeah, we do see obviously Cure, he isn't going for anything too crazy, just again another standard opening. And yeah, we'll see if Solar, maybe enough time has passed where he's become accustomed to Cure's style and he's, you know, adapting to it in a better way.
Yeah, and that really is one of the strengths of Zerg, isn't it? To be able to adapt so quickly like that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the advantage of adaptable players, less so Zerg.
Yeah, I mean that's what Special said today. Actually, he said that because Cham was doing the same thing, like Special, he just adapted to it.
Yeah.
he just you know, adapted and was able to shut it down. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. As we actually have 2 Reapers coming out here from Cure.
Yeah, an interesting way of doing it in a TVC, but I have to wonder if that's a mistake or if Cure, he really does want to get his scouting done.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can be a little more annoying with this. Maybe pick off a couple of workers here and there, disrupt the mining at least. You know, you just have to be extra careful, right? You invested a little bit more into these Reapers. You don't necessarily want to lose them for free.
Yeah. Which, yeah. So he does manage to make it out there. And I do like that, you know, whether or not it was intentional, Cure absolutely making use of those Reapers. You know, he knows, what do I have? I have an extra KDA charge, I have a bit more DPS. And be more threatening there.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to talk much about it, but I do think that Solar, like, this is a really good map to really continue on with that momentum of that previous game, because Pillars of Gold, like, it is a lot more open. It's a little bit more difficult to get, like, really good tank positionings for those pushes, right? It's a little bit more difficult to defend your bases against run-bys as well, so yeah, like Solar, he could continue on here, and we do see that Cure, he isn't being anywhere near as greedy, right? He didn't go for that earlier CC. He did go for the 1-1-1 first. You know, respecting the map, I should say.
Yeah. And yeah, as you pointed out, Mutiling Bane is going to be a lot deadlier on this map. But I am a little bit worried. Like, as you said, not as many good tank positions on this map. This is probably gonna prompt Cure to go into mines.
I would hope so.
Solar, I would hope so as well. But have you seen that Solar? If he's really put into a situation where he has to split his attention, then the first thing to fall is whatever units the mine connects with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on what the production is for Cure, whether he continues on with his tank pushes or whether he goes for earlier mine drops like he did on Eternal, which really did work out for him. At the moment, he's just, you know, poking and prodding, trying to find a way in as the Banshee is waiting for the second Banshee. Again, Cure, he's really prone to this, like waiting for 2 Banshees before diving on in. You know, I guess being a little bit safe, making sure that they're both at full health when they go in together.
Yeah, plus when you get 2 Banshees together, you can start to one-shot. You know, if Solar did go for those spores, then Cure can stay a bit longer, you know, get a couple more kills before having to back away.
Yeah, definitely. And again, these Hellions, they haven't really been able to find too much, you know, just stopping the creep, you know, making it a little bit more difficult for it to push out across the map. Meanwhile, Curie is taking his third base, and there we go. Banshees are going on in.
That they are. Fortunately, lacking game heart once again, but yeah, about 3 workers going down, about 3 drones going down there. And that's just how quickly you can start to kill workers with Banshees. Or when you have 2 Banshees out. Single Banshee, not really going to accomplish too much.
Yeah, definitely. And there we go. I was really curious, but Baneling Speed was started earlier, but I think it was cancelled, and we did have a Spire startup here for Solar first, so we will be saying the Mutalisk once again, but so far, actually, Curious trading pretty well here. Oh god.
Yeah, extremely well right now. That is a juicy mineral line, and that is a fantastic defense coming out from Solar, preventing a complete massacre. But I'm gonna have to look at the units lost tab. It is only 8 drones have gone down.
Yeah, 8 drones, nicely done. I mean, it did look like the Banshees poked in a little bit, but there were Queens here for the defense. It was just Lings here, and it was really nice positioning here for the Evo Chambers as well. Like some SimCity able to block or deny the Hellions from really like getting behind the mineral line and getting more value.
Yeah, that's this is a player who really knows what to expect and how to prepare against that. And speaking of knowing what to expect, chases away to drop. Chips up a couple of Marines. Not too bad for Cure, I should say, but still, you don't want to make that mistake too many times in a game.
Yeah, again, the Banshees are diving in, trying to find some kind of damage, but the Mutalisks, they're popping out. They're going to be able to clean this up.
The Queen is starting to get low. I don't see any transfuse available.
Wow.
But Cure, he got way too ambitious there. Moved right into the Spore.
Yeah, he was trying to dive on that Queen, like one more shot and it would have gone down, but didn't quite get it. The Queen survives, both Banshees go down, and now, I mean, so Cure, he's aware of the Mutalisk. They were revealed to him, so he's throwing down a bunch of missile turrets. You know, he does have some squads of Marines out on the map as well. We'll see if the
those Medivacs was a bit exposed, but the Marines were enough of a deterrent, stimming forward just to chase him away. And yeah, I kind of feel like both players, I feel like they've both been playing the same way for the past 3 games, but we'll see who is able to refine them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Solar, you know, he's working on his double Evo upgrades, like 1-1 is about to finish up. He's working on +1 flyer attack as well. Baneling Speed is already done. He's taking his 4th base. So again, Solar, he's looking pretty cozy on his side of the map. There hasn't been really too much aggression other than, you know, that Hellion run by, which did look a little bit scary, but it was dealt with. I love this as well. He's dealing with these rocks to make it easier to deal with any kind of tank pushes at his 4th base. Speaking of, you know, that's exactly what Cure is setting up.
For its 4th base, yeah.
Exactly.
With 4 tanks, that's 1 more than 3. And
Yeah,
definitely going to be useful against all those Banelings there. And you can really see how methodical Cure is right now with how he leapfrogs his units forward. But he did leave a massive vulnerability in his main base. There is a tank here, and that definitely helps. And the Marines are at choke point, so this is helping out a bit, but I feel like this is just overwhelming right now. Cure, does he go for a base trade? Does he go back home?
That's the question. Like, he hasn't really pulled the trigger. Like, the 4th base for the most part is completely fine. He hasn't really committed to anything, and these Lings and Mutas, they're in the production.
Yeah, right on top of the production. These Mutalisks are just so overwhelming right now, and they're actually starting to turn around right now. Cure, I'm not sure what prompted that. He didn't really turn around. He's just going for the other base.
Yeah, I mean, the Mutalisk count did get thinned out, so if he stayed, he honestly would have lost the Mutas. Like, there were a lot of Marines coming out, but the damage was done, right? And there we go, the 4th base. Solar really respecting this position, just giving it up, and he is able to evacuate his entire mineral line before they go down. Meanwhile, he's just continuing to counterattack.
Exactly. He knew that a base was forfeit, so what did he do? He planned everything that he needed to do after losing that. Evacuated his drones into another base, and yeah, no, just going for another counterattack here, but the defenses are Cure. They're looking pretty good.
They are. It looks like we may even see Solar go for like a surround on this army. Meanwhile, there is a drop in the main base as well. Actually, a lot of drones going down.
That they did. These Banelings will eventually clear them out, but honestly a bit of an inefficient trait there. 29 drones in total this game have gone down. I have to imagine at least 12 from that drop in the main.
Yeah, definitely. And again, Solar, we saw this on Ice and Chrome. He really respects these tank positions. Like, he really honestly does whatever he can to not push into them. Instead, goes for these counterattacks, waiting for the Terran player to unsiege to then pounce on in.
Yeah, but Cure, he's just being so careful right now. He will not unsiege unless he absolutely knows he can afford to.
Oh, and he's going for
But
it.
he's not besieging. This is a good split, but there's not a lot of AoE. Meanwhile, there are reinforcements coming in from the other end, though.
Ooh, and all the tanks go down. Just Marines and Medevacs left, so it looks like Solar has been able to break this position. And but not before, again, like, because of that drop in the main base and all the damage that was done earlier, like losing the hatchery. Like, I mean, look at the economic situation for both players. Like, we're kind of even.
About even, yeah. And when in this situation, I think I favor Cure a little bit more. He's just continuing to pump out more and more Marines. You know, Solar, he can't quite afford to do the same thing. I mean, he's pumping out a lot of Zerglings, but yeah, he's... I know what I'm trying to go for here. Like,
I mean, the scary thing about this is that Curie's continuing to push. He saved the majority of his medevacs, and he's working on 3-3. Like, once 3-3 kicks in, like, Curie's bio is going to look so terrifying for Solar. And Solar, I don't believe he has... Yeah, he doesn't have a hive. Like, he's still in lair.
That's a massive pickoff right now. Basically, every Mutalist being taken out. And with that, Cure, he is going to be riding this momentum, continuing to push. He is being more careful with where he goes, though, but he is going to be riding this. So he's going to drop to go for another multi-pronged harass.
Yeah, and behind this as well, we have Drilling Claws on the way. 3-3 is about to finish up as well. He's working on his 4th base. Like, Solar, after losing all those Mutalists, like, he's hurting so much. And again, like, where's the Infestation Pit? Where's the Hive? Like, he's stuck on this lair tech, on these lair upgrades as well.
Well, yeah, he couldn't afford to go for it just because he has been on a relatively low base count and because Cure has just been trading so efficiently.
Exactly, like, he just can't afford it because of all the drones going down, just like these ones here. The drop of Cure able to catch them off guard.
And I love this. There's just, because all those Mutalists went down earlier, it is just that much easier for Cure to go for drops like this, and we're really seeing him utilize them to the best of his ability.
Exactly, like, the damage has been done. Like, Solar, he's down on workers. As you pointed out, he doesn't really have the economy to tech up right now. He's using all of his money right now on units just to make sure he doesn't die. And if he doesn't, like, Cure, he's maxed out. He has so much momentum on his side.
This is fun. This is what Cure wanted to do in that previous game. He is maxed out, building up his bank, and now slowly sieging and unsieging forward, leapfrogging not only his tanks but also his Marines. Now he is pretty vulnerable over in his own bases. He's got a planetary, and he's got some planetaries and some turrets, but that's about it. Not anymore. Here come the Marine reinforcements, and GG is called. And Dongray Gu is going to have to be breathing a sigh of relief right now, as Cure is going to be our second finalist of the evening in a going to be playing a TVZ against DRG. Try saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah, will he be, like, having a sigh of relief? Like, Cure, he looks quite scary against Solar, and again, we'll see what DRG has in store for us in that matchup. Honestly, DRG, he's the kind of player who I'm looking forward to seeing Roach. Oh no, never mind. Actually, I was gonna say I'm looking forward to seeing, like, Hydra Lurker Viper against Bio, but we saw DRG isn't really one to make Vipers, so I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I mean, you know, maybe just seeing that in the last game inspired him a little, being like, right, Vipers are a spellcaster unit.
Yeah, definitely.
Zerg has spellcasters.